Hey everyone, thanks for joining. I'm here today to tell you about our Operations Accelerator, why we made it, what it does, and how it can help your nonprofit get to the next level. A little bit about me. My name is Dina. I started WorkStream nonprofit. I've been working with small businesses for the past 15 years and nonprofits for specifically focusing on them for the past five. I started WorkStream Nonprofit 2 years ago with the intent of making these types of programs accessible to nonprofits so that we can take the impact that you're already putting out there and make it more effective. Lean Six Sigma Black Belt. That means that I am certified to take a look at how processes are working and see if we can get you to increase your capacity and decreasing the amount of errors along the way. I also provide operations coaching. So sometimes this type of program doesn't work well for people, but there are multiple ways to solve the problem of creating efficient workflow. So that is a little bit about me. My personal passion is to make everyone be more successful and to do more with less. The goal of this program is fewfold. This is a culmination of a few different goals that we have. Number one, we want the organizations to work well. We want the organizations to be strong. We want them to be able to grow, to scale, to be able to contribute the most that they can. We also want you to have talent within your organization. So we're not just here to say, here, this is what you need to do. We want your staff to be skilled and to be able to take on the mantle of leadership, become better, to have that career capital for them. They can take it with them to wherever they go. These are skills that you're going to be learning along the way. And it provides experience, education, community, and accountability to promote participant growth. I personally believe very much in community and accountability and education as kind of the three pillars of what makes organizations be successful. What makes people really? You need to have partners, you need to have the accountability aspect, you need to have the education because you don't know what you don't know. We all need support. Having a supportive community is really important. So that's kind of all the different pieces that we've taken and rolled them into one in this by creating this program. People who have participated in this program so far have been really happy. We've seen a lot of good results and a lot of organizations blossoming out of it, a lot of career capital gained. It's a pretty good infrastructure. It's a pretty good template for helping organizations really gain the foundations for growth and to be able to scale and get to where they need to go. So the way it works is that this is a 6-month commitment. We meet twice a month for 90 minutes each. One of them is with an expert. I very much like bringing in experts. I know what I know, and I know that there are others who are experts in their fields, and I love bringing them in and connecting them with our participants in general. So I like also everything to be interactive. Another one of my beliefs you'll see me putting in there in pretty much everything I do is that people need to actually act upon what they're doing, what they're learning. It's one thing to go somewhere, hear something, it was a great session, you learned a lot, you don't apply anything. So we don't let you do that. In this, you will have interactive time to do some of the work together to get you started, and you will have homework also. We estimate the homework is about 2 hours a month. You'll also have a coaching session 1 hour per month. So it's 1.5 hours. That's an expert led interactive workshop, especially since it's virtual and needs to be interactive. We have 2 hours of homework. We have a peer reviewed homework discussion group. So to take a look at what you did, talk through challenges, give ideas. Your peers and your community are your best support. Um, then you have the operations coaching session. Sometimes it's what we're talking about in the educational aspect of that, and then putting that into practice, tailored for your organization. It's a one-on-one. Sometimes it's just other stuff that are going on in your organization you want to talk through. So anything that we can help you, our goal is to reduce the bottlenecks and to help you thrive. We do have optional discussion groups if you want. I also do have a reading list that I recommend people read along with it, but it's not obligatory. It works because it's led by experts and it's experiential. So what you're learning, you're doing, which means you really gain the experience, which means you really intrinsically know it. It's community powered, it's personalized for you, it's very, very hands-on, and it's a pretty well-developed curriculum. It's been tried and tested, and we've had great results from it. The ideal participants that we're looking for are organizations that are in the 4 to 20 people space that are anticipating growth or are experiencing growth. If you grow too quickly and you don't have the right structure, it can feel chaotic. We're here to make the chaos go away so that you can grow and scale in a healthful way. We're looking for organizations that need that stronger operational infrastructure. Obviously, if you have it already, then it's not something we need to do. Um, we need organizations that have leadership that are committed to making systemic change if necessary. If we don't have leaders involved in this, then as much as you learn, there's not so much that we can implement in the organizations. So that's why we like to have a leader involved. We do have for each enrollment, you can have two people from the organization. So I usually suggest pairing a leader with an operation person. And you need to be able to dedicate 5 to 7 hours a month for this journey. The outline is as follows. We start with our foundations, then we move into sustainable growth, then effective management, and then operations plan. It all builds one on the other. So we'll start off with the organization mission, the theory of change, the programs, how does that all relate? We'll get into developing strong KPIs and OKRs. We have a webinar explaining those if you're unfamiliar with them, but it's really metrics. How do you evaluate if what you're doing is good or not? Then we get into sustainable growth, which is the workflow aspect. So what does a good workflow look like? How can I scale? Then we get into the people part of that. So once you figured out the products and the processes, the next step is the people. Well, and the technology, but that gets into a little further on into productivity. We want to hire the right people. We want to make sure they're doing the right things. We want to have effective onboarding and management techniques. And then we want to have productivity for the organization. We want to make sure that on a personal level and both and on a team level that you're doing that. We want to make sure that you have effective project management. So that gets into the next one. All along, we're going through your operations plan. So that takes you from the beginning, where you're creating the mission, to how are we implementing it. This provides the blueprint also for what a lot of organizations, for a lot of funders look like. This will help you tell your story about how the organization is structured, what you want to do, so that when then you're presenting it to a funder, a collaborator, you have a really good showcase, and it really shows that your organization knows what it's doing. So the introductory session we start off with, we understand the components of a good operational business plan. What is included on it? What do you want in there? What do you need to have in there? We talk about it as a strategic and practical roadmap of what you'll be developing. And then this begins a capstone project that we referred to earlier. So module 1, again, going through these, we're establishing your mission and vision and values, developing a good theory of change, metrics of success, KPIs and OKRs. Again, what is your mission? What are you trying to do? And how do we know if you're doing a good job? Then we'll get into creating sustainable growth. This is where we want to optimize your workflow and your growth and your processes and your systems. And then we get into smart hiring and onboarding. Again, all these things feed into each other, so they're not standalone. Let me get into effective management. So there's project management, which everybody should be using basic project management processes in what you're doing if you're not already. And then you're maximizing personal and team productivity. So that gets into software tools and just tips and tricks to just make your life a little more effective. And the capstone project takes everything in there that we started from the beginning, working through the rest of the sessions. Combining it all, it shows a well-developed approach to leadership. So again, this is great if you're having outside investors looking in. It's also great for you because you now have a Bible, a blueprint that you can work off of. We are issuing certifications to the participants for having completed this. Perhaps we'll issue them to organizations as well. To be truthful, I do not know if this means anything or not. I'm hoping over time that it will show funders and partners that this organization is set up for success, since they are following standards of excellence, and that the funders can then confidently give them money, knowing the money is going to good use. So the cost of this program is $2,800 per organization. If you do have a budget constraint, I do have 10% scholarships available upon request. We currently do not have funding for this outside, although that is something that I'm hoping to pursue over the next a little bit. Right now, funders really want organizations to see this as a necessary expense and pay for it. That's kind of the feedback I've been getting. In the $2,800 enrollment fee, you can get 2 people from your organization. That is included in the cost. It is not extra to have anyone else on there. It should be an organizational expense for talent development. If you do not have on your budget line item something for operational infrastructure support, talent development, things like that, you should have one. That is a normal thing to put in there. Um, Funders like to pay for that kind of thing also. Well, I guess depending on certain types of funders, but they want to see that the organization is holistic, it's growing well, and that it's using best practices. And we're flexible with payment options. So if you want to do monthly, quarterly, annual, one time, whatever, we're good with that. This is the link for the application itself. And the deadline is on June 30th. So that is coming up. We will be having more of these. So at this moment in time, that is our current deadline, but the application link will update to reflect what our current cohort statuses are. Right now, we are aiming to start our next cohort in September. Usually it's about 2 to 3 months after the application is due before we start. So we have time to review it, have a short interview with the people, set everybody's schedules up, and then give you advance time so that you're able to really prepare and take advantage of this fully. And that is it. Thank you for joining me today. And if you have any questions or are wondering how we can help your organization on its way towards operational success, please feel free to pick a time, chat with me. I look